All right, I was not planning on filming today. Emergency video. Coinbase just got hacked, and in the most baller move ever, didn't lose that much customer information, got a $20 million ransom, and instead of paying the ransom to the criminals, they're establishing a $20 million reward fund for information leading to the arrest of the criminals that hacked them. This is the coolest thing that I've ever read a company do. Just like the biggest kudos to whatever lawyer and the security team that signed off on this whole series of events. And the way they got hacked is super interesting too. Okay, this is going to make a Netflix documentary one day. Cyber criminals recruited insiders at Coinbase, specifically targeting overseas customer support professionals. They used that insider access to then do two things: steal insider information just by bribing these employees of Coinbase, and then second, use those support agents to social engineer actual Coinbase customers to steal their cryptocurrency. So imagine you're even like a security conscious individual and you get messages and emails from legitimate support people at Coinbase, or you open legitimate correspondence doing a support ticket with a Coinbase support person. And this would pass every sniff check of yours. It's coming from their legitimate emails. You could even look up the people and find out that yes, they indeed do work there. And if you listen to whatever they said, they could steal your data or even some of your funds. All right, so all this news just broke like in the last hour. Coinbase had to file all the legal paperwork about having a data breach, and they put out this blog at the same time. So let's just read it because this is a great short report. What happened? Criminals target our customer support agents overseas. They used cash offers, so bribes, to convince a small group of insiders to copy data in our customer support tools for less than 1% of Coinbase's monthly transacting users. I specifically like the way that they worded that, because this isn't like the whole, oh, just like 1% of users of some social network, but most of those users are like inactive bot accounts. This is 1% of active monthly transacting users. That puts you like in the right mindset of the exact number of customers actually impacted. Their aim was to gather a customer list that they could contact while pretending to be Coinbase. Well, they weren't pretending to be Coinbase, they were Coinbase, tricking people into handing over their crypto. They then tried to extort Coinbase for $20 million to cover this whole thing up. We said no. Baller. Thank you for bolding that for extra baller effect. All right, what'd they get for those customers? Small group of customers, retail only, no Coinbase Prime people. This is important. They got name, address, phone number, email. Cool. I expect all that stuff to be owned anyway. Masked social security number, last four digits. Okay. Masked bank account numbers and some bank account identifiers. All right. Side note, Coinbase has had a few security incidents over the last couple of years. I know some people on the security team at Coinbase. They do great write-ups. And every time they do a postmortem of one of their security incidents, you get a peek behind the curtain of how well their security is architected, because even with insider access, they couldn't get full bank account details. This means Coinbase is actually securing a lot of this stuff and storing it the right way. If your bank account info was just in plain text that an employee could even grab, this is worst case scenario. An employee is bribed or hacked and would be able to access this stuff. This is what zero trust is all about. If you hear zero trust buzzword, this is what it's about. If you're architecting your security program with the insider threat in mind, you're going to come out with the right outcome, because either an insider threat is actually going to happen or an insider could get hacked, and they should not have special access. Government ID, images, driver's license, passports. This is like the know your customer stuff. When you go and make these accounts, Coinbase is required to get pictures of your IDs to do the whole KYC know your customer stuff. This is one of the reasons why a lot of security people and privacy professionals are critiquing a lot of these age on adult website laws that are coming into place, because then the adult websites are requiring you to give images of the government IDs. It's really hard to secure images of driver's licenses. Having a copy of a driver's license and a passport is very valuable for hackers to commit identity theft. I've had this happen to me. Someone got a picture of my driver's license from a data breach. They put their picture on it, printed an actual physical driver's license, and walked in and tried to buy a car. Luckily, some systems I had set up and some systems that car dealership had set up flagged the whole transaction, but I could see it going a very different way. Account data, of course, right? Balances and snapshots of the account. And then some corporate data that these employees had access to, some internal documents, training material. You can imagine that every employee has like internal wiki and communications type stuff. But I also do know that a lot of places that I've worked for these like overseas contractor support types, this internal info is probably also limited compared to a US based full-time employee. What they did not get, thank you for calling this out. This is just a great textbook incident write-up, by the way. Take notes if you get hacked. This is the way to write it up. What they got, what they didn't get. They didn't get creds or 2FA codes. They didn't get private keys. They didn't get any ability or access to move customer funds. They just got the ability to more convincingly social engineer people for funds because they had insider people flipped. They didn't get any access to Coinbase Prime accounts or any access to Coinbase or Coinbase customer hot or cold wallets. So they couldn't touch the money or the creds or the private keys. Again, really just goes to show you how well architected the backend systems are here. Kudos to Coinbase. All right, what are we doing about it as Coinbase? They're gonna make customers whole. We'll reimburse all customers who were tricked by social engineering into sending funds to the attacker due to those customer support people being flipped, because of course you fell for that. It was a legitimate employee asking you to do something. Extra customer safeguards. Flagged accounts now require additional ID checks when performing sensitive activities like large withdrawals. This includes a mandatory scam awareness prompt, basically a pop-up when you're doing something sensitive that says, hey, beware of scams. Are you sure you want to do this? I'm glad they do this. A lot of companies are hesitant to add friction to their customers in any way to benefit security. Even things like mandatory 2FA is a step that a lot of companies will not take because that's added friction, which means lower dollars, right? People will just bounce off of friction that you add in their way. So adding a scam awareness prompt is a big decision by them, but I think it's the right one in this case, right? I mean, Coinbase is going to be a hotbed of scams. Crypto is a hotbed of scams. They're further securing support operations. They're opening a new support hub in the US, probably to more closely monitor this kind of thing like insider threat, and adding stronger security controls and monitoring across all locations. Makes sense. Just run a post-incident playbook against, contractor access and trying to flag weird behavior. Hardening defenses. We've increased our investment on insider threat detection, automated response, and simulating similar security threats to find failure points in any internal system. I would love the details of this. If you work at Coinbase and are willing to tell me what this bullet means, I would love to hear about it. I know this is sensitive info. If you're willing to give me even just a little bit more about this, I don't need to know specifics, please reach out, especially on automated response. This is a passionate topic of mine. I've done a lot of this work in my career with tools like Tines or Shores. I've even built like custom automated response Slack bots and things like that. I would love to hear some of the cool automations that you thought of to catch a threat like this. I have some ideas. I would love to see what you guys implemented. And then staying transparent as per this blog post. I mean, yeah, I'm super happy about this. All right, so here's the ballerest of baller moves. Instead of paying the ransom, setting up the same amount that they demanded in a fund to reward the people who catch these criminals. Guys, has this happened before? If it's happened before and I'm just not remembering, please let me know. I don't think that this has happened before. Instead of paying a $20 million ransom, we're establishing a $20 million reward fund for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the attackers. Guys, side quest. Pause. I gotta pause the video. I gotta go find some information about some attackers. I could use an extra $20 million. This is the how we're responding to criminal section. So they're also tracing the stolen funds. They're working with industry partners. We've tagged the attackers' wallet addresses so the authorities can track and work to recover assets. They're also, of course, working with law enforcement, and we will press criminal charges. Okay, and then a quick how you can stay safe. So expect imposters, expect scammers. Related to this breach or not, scammers are going to pose as Coinbase employees and try to pressure you into moving funds. Remember, Coinbase will never ask for your password 2FA codes. They will never ask for you to transfer assets to a specific address. We will never call you and text you for this kind of stuff. If you receive this call, hang up the phone. We will never ask you to contact a different number to reach us. This is important information to just beat on and get out there. It's not that people don't know this, but you need to remember this because you can get caught in like an emotionally compromised situation where the scammers are good. They create urgency, they create trust, and then they will pull the rug on you and trick you. Even hardened security professionals will fall to the right crafted phishing scam if they're in the wrong state of mind. Maybe you just had some like major financial hit because of something that happened and you were super sensitive to your crypto account at the time. And then it seems like someone's reaching out to help, and it's someone that maybe has established a little bit of trust with you over the last couple of weeks, months, years. These people play the long game. So this paragraph isn't as like basic information as you might think. Like, well, yeah, of course, I would never fall for that. You might. I've definitely gotten to like step 2 on some of these scams a few times when I thought that my bank was calling me because the timing was right. Maybe I was buying a house, maybe I was buying a car, and I got a call and it sounded like something that could be happening in my life at that week. But enough red flags, because I read this stuff all the time, enough red flags said, hey, pause, hang up on this person, let me call my actual bank. And nope, that wasn't us, but it was from their phone number. It wasn't with an accent. It wasn't in broken English. You can get to kind of step 2 on the scammer's playbook, step 3 on the scammer's playbook, even if you're super aware of this stuff. And then all it takes is that one little timing, that one little flip, and they got you. So don't roll your eyes at this paragraph. This is just important stuff to just beat into your brain and your memory, and then just tell your friends and family about it who aren't as technically savvy to be watching my freaking YouTube channel. Share this video with them. I'm not saying that to like try to promote my YouTube. This is a good case study to share with your friends and family who know nothing about cybersecurity because they've heard of Coinbase. They're going to understand all the words I'm saying on this video. This is not a technical hack. I'm not talking about Kubernetes 0 days here. This is just straight up really good scams with insider threats and bribes. So if you want to increase the awareness and the paranoia, the healthy paranoia of these kinds of scams amongst your family and friends, I don't care if they touch crypto. This kind of stuff, exactly like this, happens with banks and actual currency, not cryptocurrency. All right, you can tell I'm passionate about this. I want to get this message out. Obviously, enable 2FA, hang up on imposters, just hang up on, the bank doesn't call you, like my bank never calls me, just hang up and call them. If the conversation is getting anywhere near sensitive, try to verify their information. They're gonna ask you. I've had the scammers ask me to verify my information. I say, hey, you called me. I don't know who you are. Why don't you verify your information? Click. Let me call back. This is the kind of stuff that you need to beat into your friends and family's heads and your own heads. Lock first, ask later. If something feels off, lock down your whole account. It's easier to slow down than it is to recover your funds. Review the security tips. I'll link this whole thing in the description below so you can read their security tips. They also have a feature on turn on withdrawal allow list. This is a super cool feature I didn't know about. Only permit transfers to wallets that you are confident you fully control and where the seed phrase is secure and was not provided to you or shared with anyone. That's a cool feature. If you're into Coinbase, if you're into crypto, check out this allow listing feature to figure out so you don't even accidentally send stuff to the wrong wallet. All right, if you were popped by the scammer, if you think so, reach out to Coinbase. They're going to help you reimburse all this kind of stuff. I literally dropped what I was doing. I was sitting in another room on a couch writing my newsletter for tonight. Subscribe in the link below if you like these kinds of updates. I dropped what I was doing to come in here and film this video. You can tell I'm super passionate about this. This write-up is really good. Coinbase did a really good job on this. Thank you for the transparency. And let me know, were you one of the 1% that got a message from the support people? If you are, I want to hear that story too. I'll help you tell that story. If you were interacting with a flipped insider threat Coinbase employee, I would love to hear it. Thanks so much. Follow for more cybersecurity news.